Tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast Go. I'm wearing headphones tonight because it's the thing you do when you try to go live with people. I guess that's what I heard. There's no real agenda for tonight. I'm just trying this as kind of an experiment to see if I can take live callers while we're doing a show, whether it's audio, whether it's video. Plus, Dave and Warren can't be here, so there's no one to stop me. So that's how that works. All of that tonight and more on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I almost said us. It's just me tonight here on the Mac to the Future Livecast Go. Now, a couple of things before we get started. I almost didn't do a show tonight because I'm getting ready to completely change everything that's in this room. As a matter of fact, if it works the way that I think it's going to, you are no longer going to see the drapes with the cat fur on them going to the future. Everything's going to be reoriented in a different direction. But the other thing I wanted to try to do was to do something more live, to do something it's more interactive with the people that may or hopefully want to watch the show. And in order to do that, there's a couple of things that I'm going to try. The first one is right here in StreamYard, where I just put the link in that I usually send to Warren and Dave that brings them in. And because as the admin for this particular live cast, I can bring people in and out as I need to. And we already have one person on here, Adam. I'm going to bring you in and we'll see how this works. He's not showing video. He's just doing audio. Adam.
Hey,
how's it going?
Okay.
You're probably hearing like audio also from the live stream.
Yeah, I had you on twice. I didn't realize that.
Okay, well all you have to do is go over to the Facebook page that where whatever page it is that you're watching it and mute that one.
Yeah, I just did.
Okay, so you're live with it.
Yeah, because I had switched your StreamYard over to my headphones, and then I noticed, wait a minute, the delayed one went away from my stereo, and it's only in my headphones now. And yeah, I realized.
Yeah, this is actually common for a couple. This happens with radio as well. In radio, though, it's more deliberate. They throw in anywhere from a 30-second to a 1-minute delay in radio, in case somebody, they take a caller in and they decide that they're going to curse or whatever. So that basically gives the radio station and whoever it is that's broadcasting the chance to bleep out whatever it is that they were trying to say that was bad. So cool?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you doing this through Chrome or Safari?
I'm doing it through Firefox.
Through Firefox. Okay, so I know it because I know that with Safari, as a matter of fact, I'm going to open up this might get a little surreal. I'm going to open up a Safari window and I'm going to invite myself via Safari. And browser does not support StreamYard technology. Okay, so it says that Chrome, Firefox, and Opera. See, that's going forward, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't like to use Chrome. And, and I get that. I understand that.
Wait, so what's wrong with Firefox here?
Nothing's wrong with Firefox.
Oh, okay.
Chrome, Firefox, and Opera are the three browsers that
I see what you're saying.
Recommends.
So it's just people can't use Safari because it doesn't
Yeah, they
support.
can't use Safari, right?
Okay.
Because for whatever reason, StreamYard doesn't support it. And I don't know if, I mean, they may have a really good reason for doing so. But there's really, I'm not enough of a technological kind of guy to be able to say one way or the other. I'm sure that it could actually have something to do with Apple's, the way Apple does privacy in Safari. That might be why it won't work in that. Because I know when I log into work from home, I have to use Chrome there as well. I can't use Safari because it's basically the system that they're using to allow us to log into work isn't supported by it, which sucks.
Yeah. It's like stuff like Microsoft Teams I found doesn't work well in anything but a Chromium-based browser. What else? I think it was Blue Jeans that didn't stuff for work often.
I'm sorry, Blue Jeans? What's that?
That's another teleconferencing solution that's commonly used in the enterprise.
Okay. Well, I wonder because I've used Zoom and a few others. I like StreamYard because it's very, I don't want to say simple to use, but it is robust. All of the different things that you can do with the audio and video streams is pretty much right there going forward. It's not really a big deal.
Is it integrating with OBS somehow?
No, this is strictly a browser-based livecast solution. So everything is done. Everything, like I'm using Chrome for that. Everything is done in Chrome, and all of the things, like if I wanted to go, like right now I've got it solo. If I wanted to make you solo, though, of course you don't have your camera on, so you got a blank screen.
Wait, I don't.
No,
I'm seeing myself here.
I'm not seeing you.
And then I see myself next to you, and I see us now both.
Nope, your camera's not coming through.
Weird. That's really weird. Let me. Oh, I can change it to high def. Oh, that's better. But
okay,
no one
still
can
not seeing you.
What?
But tell you what, I'm gonna remove you, and then why don't you open up a new tab and come back in that way.
Okay.
While we wait for Adam to come back in, hopefully. All you have to do, remember, is hit the link that's in the whatever page it is that you're watching right now. There's a StreamYard link, StreamYard.com MZBWI6 blah 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 blah. You hit that link, and you have to do it in Chrome, or you have to do it in Firefox or Opera, and it will bring you right in, or attempt to bring you right in. So I'm not seeing Adam. He's not coming back. Adam, you going to come back, dude? Well, while we're waiting for something else to happen, there is a story here that I'm seeing from iMore. Advertisers panicking as 75% of iOS users refuse to be tracked. It is reportedly crushing Facebook's ability to provide sales data. 75% of iOS 14 users are refusing to be tracked. Whoop, here we go. Oh, okay. And I see him now.
Okay, well, dude. I switched to, so isn't a perfectly controlled experiment because I switched to Chromium.
Uh-huh.
So there are a couple of variables here. One is, did I just have a bad connection before, or was Firefox?
Well, you sound different. You sound different too.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? It might be selecting the wrong microphone. Hold on.
It happens. It's happened to Warren about 1,000 times.
Let's see. Microphone. It's probably selecting like my dinky webcam mic.
Yeah, it's a little weak.
Okay.
That's much better.
Okay, so yeah, this is That's the condenser mic that's in front of me now. That's attached to the audio adapter that you mailed me.
Oh, which one? Which adapter did I mail you?
What is this one? Focusrite Sapphire Pro 14.
Oh, I you know what? This is a sign that I am getting old. I'd completely forgotten that I had done that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were able to put it because that was a FireWire device, as I recall.
Yep.
Did it also have USB, or were you able to find an adapter?
Just FireWire.
So, what Mac have you got it connected to that it still has FireWire, or is it something else?
I'm a heretic right now.
Oh, are you on a Hackintosh?
Even worse.
What? Come on, fess up.
Let's see if I can get it into view. Okay, I have a lot of monitors here. Hold on. The wire on this camera is not long enough. Hold on. Let me switch back. Okay. No, this one. You know what? This one's anchored. Darn it! It's hard. It's hard to like get it around this other monitor. It's blocking my view.
That's okay. Just tell me.
It's so it is a home built machine running Gentoo.
Running what? Gentoo Linux?
Yeah.
Okay. No. Well, I mean, oh, that. What? You know what? What? Oh, and that has FireWire.
Yes. So
Okay.
It has a FireWire PCI Express card in there.
Okay.
And I'm using the built-in FireWire driver in Linux and Lib FFADO for driving the FireWire audio. That connects to Pulse Audio via jack. And that gives me the ability to use 15, 20-year-old audio device on a relatively recent computer.
That is cool. Jack, that's because I know that's also available for the Mac. But I know that I downloaded it and I tried to configure it because I was looking to see if how it compared to Loopback. And I could not get it to work properly. So
there are third. I don't know if third party is the right word since it's all like free software, but there are additional tools that make it easier. So I'm using a tool called QJack Control. But there are a bunch of them. They're graphical tools that sit on top of Jack. And I usually actually prefer console-based interfaces for stuff like this. But the GUI for this one is pretty cool.
Well, you can do a screen share.
Let me see if I can. Or let me see if I can get this.
Your controls in StreamYard should let you share your screen and also let you select which application screen that you want to post up.
Okay, so let's see. So my cam mic, is it under cam mic? No, actually,
no. You've got there's the control box on the.
Oh, I see. Share. Okay.
Right.
Okay, let's see if I can share. Okay, yes, it's letting me. Okay, that's part of the browser. It's letting me select. Okay, so let me put it. Is this the screen that's being shared? Yes. So nothing exciting to see just from this one window, but if I. Okay, the interface.
Yeah, don't do anything that's going to screw with your audio settings.
Oh no, I'm not doing anything that screws with it. I'm just showing the interface. So simply, I can change this because the Focusrite adapter has a bunch of FireWire channels, and they're shown here. The 1394 in and outs, and those.
All right, so that's the Focusrite device there.
Yes, and that can be mapped to that can be mapped to the analog in and out on there as well, the 4 in and 4 out. And that's configured separately on a different app, which is loading right now. But this lets you control jack graphically by making connections between the ports, the virtual ports on your computer, and the ports on your audio device. So
okay, well, I see your headphones. What's the one that's just above it? Is that your microphone?
So this is this is the mic.
Okay.
So this one is one of the. So these three here are Pulse Audio. So I have a Pulse Audio binaural input for the mic. I have alternate configurations. Sometimes I will have dual mics and try and capture myself in stereo, and I will have left and right channels for the mics. But in this configuration, it's just a single binaural mic. Here are the headphones, and that's channels 3 and 4 on the Focusrite device, which connect to my headphone jack. And
so are those all outputs in the larger box?
So these are the outputs on the Focusrite. These 4 channels here,
okay,
and these 2 are outputs coming from Pulse Audio. This one is an input, and it's connected on the left here because these are the inputs from the Focusrite.
Okay, so you've got 2 separate boxes, one for inputs, one for outputs for the Focusrite.
Yes, it's not a general rule, but that's what you'll end up having with a jack configuration most of the time. So this is an app that controls the Focusrite, and it has the mixer, the crossbar router, and monitoring. And this router will select which channels on the Focusrite are connected to each other. So whether I can have FireWire, where the FireWire channels are connecting to the analog channels or to the mixer. And then if I enable the mixer, this configuration does not use the mixer, but I have others that do. So if I'm teaching a class, I'll be using the mixer.
Okay, because Focusrite had software for it called Mix Control.
Yes,
and it was terrible.
This I imagine, despite the horrendous user interface, this I imagine is much more functional than their software.
Possibly. They had loopback channels.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was so much going on, it was almost impossible to figure out what it was you actually tried to do.
The loopback channels are a hardware feature. So
yes,
you see these loop 1 and 2, those are there. And I actually have them connected to the mixer, but I'm not using any of it on this configuration. This is my simple configuration.
Okay, well, let me ask you something. What is it that you teach? What is it that you do?
I'm a bioinformatician. So I
wish I could tell you that I knew what that was.
So I'm a mad scientist who engineers life. So the scientists okay. The scientists behind like creating a giant lizard monster, for instance, like
Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean Godzilla is Godzilla is an archosaur. It's a different kind of reptile, so I'm not sure I would classify Godzilla technically as a giant lizard monster, but yes, it is in the same vein. But yeah, like actually most of the great ones are not lizards, are they? Mothra is, and Rodan is not. But if you're trying, if you want to engineer a monster like that, you probably will need a bioinformatician to figure out like what promoters you have to change in order to get the thing to grow properly. For instance. So that's no. I actually work in rare diseases, but when I'm on Zoom, I teach just basics of bioinformatics, and I need to do screen sharing, and I need to be prepared for sharing audio from another app on my computer. So if I'm doing that, I have it set up in the hardware mixer where the output from another app will go to my mixer, combine with my voice on the mixer, like on the hardware mixer, then be sent back over FireWire to my machine as a channel I can share. Whoa.
Okay, that's loopback. So the way that this works, almost every single, I'm kind of giving people a behind the scenes look here.
So that looks a lot like Jack, just with
It
a
does.
much more convoluted configuration.
Yes, and it's the previous version of loopback was very, very confusing. This is much better. But if you look at almost every single VoIP that's out there, they all use channels 1 and 2 for their input. So I've got Farrago here, which is it's an application that allows me to collect and play like little audio snippets whenever I want.
Yeah.
Of course, Google Chrome. So, and because everything that we're doing tonight is in Chrome, every time you speak, you'll see the box for Google Chrome will go ahead and say something.
Something. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
see my levels.
You'll see. Right, you'll see the levels from Google Chrome go. Of course, and because this is kind of a catch-all for me, I have Skype there, but it's not engaged. I have Zoom there, but it's not engaged. And the really cool thing is down there on the bottom where it says pass-through. I can use pass-through to also incorporate audio hijack. I don't know if you've ever seen that program, how that works. But I can take like multiple microphones, multiple input devices, run those with filters and effects through audio hijack, and then assign outputs to each one of those so that it matches up with this pass-through, and then use the outputs from the pass-through to go to the output channels that's here in the center part here in loopback. And the reason why I've got all these different output channels is this allows me to take each one of these outputs, because the name of this particular device is StreamYard. And if you look in the Mac OS in the audio MIDI setup program in your utilities folder, you can create what's known as an aggregate device. So StreamYard, this particular device from Loopback, is kind of an aggregate device. But I can assign that aggregate device to a DAW. So whether it's GarageBand or Hindenburg, which is the one I typically use, Reaper, Audacity, whatever DAW it is that you want to have out there, I can assign each one of these channels to different tracks in that DAW and record each one of them separately. So if, as we're talking here, your audio, needs to be adjusted in post, well, that's cool, because I have it on a separate track. So I don't have to try to separate it from anything else. I actually have a couple of YouTube videos that show how I do all of this with audio hijack and loopback.
Yeah, so like if I were to run Ardor or Audacity on here, they inputs and outputs that I create for tracks would appear on Jack. So the Q Jack control I was showing you, they would show up as the software inputs and outputs. And then I could connect them to each other, or I could connect them to my audio interface, or I could connect them to. So like, let's see. So like, imagine like where I have the headphones and the amp and mic. More of those would appear. Let me see if I can.
Oh, let me go full screen with it. There you go.
Let me see if I can actually get it going. And let's see if it actually works. Okay, welcome to Ardor.
I tried actually using Ardor.
Yeah.
And Audacity. The problem I had with Audacity was trying to set up separate tracks. Oh, David's asking me how it's going on right now with questions.
Okay, so let's see. I will say audio. Okay. So I will say audio system jack, and I will try to connect to jack.
That was cool.
Oh yeah, I have. That's a KDE feature. So if I want to say master bus channels, let's just say 4 to see what happens.
That's 4 mono tracks.
Yeah. And then here we go. Here's our door. It just appeared. So I can connect my, for instance, if I want to connect my microphone to one of these, I would just add it in here. Oops. There we go. So my microphone would connect. Oh wait. That's the wrong way.
Yeah, that's going to an audio out.
Yeah, that's going the wrong way. But let's see. So let me get rid of that one. So I would want to connect it to the hardware.
Yeah, and then from the hardware to your DAW.
Yeah. So this here is my DAW.
Well, can you go from where the mic is going in? Just go. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. And yeah, so I could then switch to Ardor, and I'm sure I could
just add a track.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to create the track. Nope, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that.
Can you right click down in that area?
Yeah, here we go. Audio track. You can see I do not use this very often, although it is on the list. It is on the list of things I want to use more often. Okay, so I'm adding a single channel audio. Okay, strict IO, monaural, and then let's see, inputs. So I will want to select. I think it
should just. Well, I mean, shouldn't it just go ahead and well, you have to arm the track also.
Yeah.
So it's that little red button right after where it says audio.
Oh, I see. I have I think I've selected it. I've connected it to the wrong input anyway. I don't think that's the input I want. So get rid of that one. Oop. Come on. Nope.
Wrong one.
Didn't want to get rid of that one. There we go. Okay, let me connect it to the first channel, master audio in 1. Okay, so I want this to be, let's see. Okay, master, no, that's master out. Oh wait, audio 1 in, okay. Oh, I see, those are, it should be.
Yeah, just hit you see that little red button next to where it says audio 1?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's actually connected, but I don't see the levels.
Well, you're not getting any levels, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any levels, so let's see if I go to inputs. Wait, maybe yeah, that's audio 1 out. I think there's a grid selection. That's interesting.
Audio. Well, can you select audio 1 down there in the bottom right? And
yeah, it's
not letting you select it.
Nope.
It's not happy about something.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh wait, no, I didn't want to do that. That changed it to stereo.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can just run 1 to each side.
Yeah. I'm probably just not clicking the right thing to...
Yeah, happens.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. Yeah, but that's the general idea. Like if if I want to attach it to my DAW. That's how I would do it.
Okay, well, let me bring up Hindenburg. I'm not recording it. Come on, stop that. There we go. And I will bring up, let's see, recent sessions, podcast template. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. 1, 2. Interesting. I got nothing. Everything is working in loopback. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's channels 3 and 4. Here, I'll switch over to it. So there's Hindenburg.
Oh, I see what I did wrong.
One, 2. Okay, now it's working.
I got levels. Now when you switch to Hindenburg, I got levels.
No, I can switch back.
I got levels. I see what I did wrong. So it looks like every time I add an audio track on our door, I explicitly have to connect it in jack. That's my problem. And not only do I have levels, but they're very loud.
Yeah, but that can be adjusted.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, so I could record if I wanted to. Oh. And I'm getting a waveform. So I am live streaming into your vlog, and I am getting a waveform as well simultaneously on my DAW. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. And it's all free.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you Hindenburg. So you can see my levels right there for mic 1.
Yeah.
And when you talk, you can see yours for Skype. As a matter of fact, I need to turn you down just a little bit.
Wait a minute. So why is it called Skype?
Just because that's, sorry, not Skype, Chrome.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like for some weird reason, like, if I'm running some applications that are, what's it called? Electron apps. They show up as Chrome to audio recording apps. It's weird.
That is weird.
But I think it has to do with the Chromium foundation of Electron.
All right, but do you see the waveforms?
Yeah.
And this is the same way I record the MyMac podcast. As a matter of fact, you can see that it's pretty much set up to record the MyMac podcast. So I've got these kind of what would you call those? Like chapter holders.
Oh, okay.
So as you're listening to the show, if you want to skip to the second part, you want to skip to the after show, you want to skip to the very beginning, whatever it is you want to skip to, you can just hit a button and it'll take you right to that section.
That's cool.
All right, I'm going to stop this recording. Oh, come on, exit. There we go. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, so this is kind of like behind the scenes of all the crazy crap that I do, not just for Mac to the Future. Though it has gotten, when I first started doing Mac to the Future, I must have tried, God, how many different live stream programs did I try, including OBS? And for a while, OBS had NDI support, well, it still does, but the M1 doesn't really support it that well. And I was bringing everybody in through Skype, through NDI, over into OBS, which gave me like incredible granular control over everything that I was trying to do. But trying to set up each window so that when, like, if I wanted to bring Dave or Warren full screen, that it would do a lower third, and it would just do all this magic stuff in the background, because you can set up scenes that way in OBS. It got like super confusing, and it made me understand why a lot of people have producers and editors and all the rest of that are doing all that stuff in the background, so that whoever the host is can just concentrate on content.
Yeah.
So, but that's basically how everything works. And if whoever may or may not be watching this, if you go over to YouTube and you do a search for Vert Shark, you'll find the 2 videos that I did a couple of years ago, but it all still works the same way, with audio hijack and loopback and routing those into GarageBand as separate tracks. The other thing I like about Hindenburg as well is that its footprint as far as resources that it's using is much less than GarageBand. GarageBand, don't get me wrong, it's a really, really good program. And the fact that Apple just kind of gives it away for free is amazing, because there's a lot of crap software out there that people charge for that isn't as good as GarageBand. But it also had its limitations, and it also was one of those programs that Apple didn't spend a lot of time updating as the years went by. So it was super heavy on resources on how it would work. And I would get disk too slow errors, and the entire recording would just stop. And trying to get back in the middle of a conversation where a recording stopped, number one, it wasn't natural, and number two, it made the editing process just a complete nightmare. So now, like, if I bring up,
I remember the first time I ran GarageBand was on a PowerBook G4. I remember at the time it was pretty resource heavy too.
Yeah, it didn't get much better.
Yeah.
What's going on here? How come my trackpad isn't working?
You'd think with the SSD on an M1 Mini that
it would make, that somehow it would make it not quite so crazy. But it is, unfortunately, it's one of those things where you say, well, it is what it is. And that's sort of true. Is this working yet? Where's my trackpad? Why isn't my trackpad working? Connection lost. Yes, I understand that. How about connection gained? There we go. All right, I'm going to show you what the My Mac podcast looks like in its edited form in Hindenburg.
Oh, cool. So you have the So I'm just thinking in terms of muscle memory. I'm thinking Command T to trim. Is that what's happening here, or is that something else?
This is, well, Command B cuts. Like if I come up to this right here and go Command B, you can see that it split it.
Okay.
But this is like the first section of the show. So you've got your opening music, you've got, My Mac podcast, blah, 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 blah. And then you have, Gaz and I gabbing away here, and it goes until we hit our first break, or the only break really, where I throw in an ad for somebody else's podcast. Then the second part of the show, closing music, and then this whole part right here, this is carefully edited bits of the stuff that we talk about in between segments. Not everything, because a lot of that we just don't, it's one of those things where it's like, do you really want everyone to hear every single thing that you may possibly say over the course of a podcast when you're not actually recording? And the answer is no. There we go. You really don't. So that's for anyone who's still watching or watches this later, that's a peek behind the curtains of the stuff that I do to make the Mac of the Future livecast, as well as the mymac.com podcast. Maybe one of these days I'll actually sit down and open up DaVinci and show how I do some of the video editing, which is the video editing that I do is very simple in comparison to, I don't do any color correcting or any of that. It's mostly just Gaz on one side, me on the other, kind of like what we have here.
I think I'm not sure. Like, yes, you can color correct anything, but if you're using webcams, like I have a. Well,
this isn't a webcam. What I'm using.
What you have?
This is a Sony A5100.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With a, I think it's a 19 millimeter lens with a f stop of 1.4. So
what?
it gives
Wait,
me
how you have a 1 point? Is that a prime lens?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not a kit lens.
Okay, I'm like my 1.4 lens for an alpha cost me like $500. Like that's a piece of kit there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you would. I mean, you definitely. That is the type. That's why you look so good on there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the type of camera where you'd want to color correct. So does that?
Yeah.
Do the new alphas, like I have an older alpha, do the newer ones?
Kit lens. That's the kit lens that it came with.
Is that even that also looks like a prime lens?
Well, it's by some company called Miki, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it's a manual focus.
Oh, cool.
16 to 50 millimeters.
Oh, so it's a zoom, but it looks so small. Okay.
Yeah, its f is 3.5 to 5.6. So
that's typical for a zoom lens of that length, but it just looks so much shorter physically than I would expect. Like that's a typical aperture for that, though.
But I needed more light because
so
dark room.
So what's the aperture you have it set right now? Because I can.
On the one that I am using right now?
Yeah.
1.4.
You it's open all the way?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've got lights to both sides and one behind me.
Is the room like short from front to back? Because I'd expect more bokeh from
it is.
Okay.
Okay. This is basically because this is like one of the bedrooms in the house that I live in.
Okay.
And because we've got 3 bedrooms upstairs. This is actually a pretty big house. We got 3 bedrooms upstairs, 2 bedrooms downstairs.
Oh, okay.
And the room that's next to me here, which is the bedroom, it's pretty much storage, but that's like the guest room. And then there was the master bedroom for my wife and I, and then the 2 bedrooms for the kids.
So how the new alphas send video to your machine? Is it over Thunderbolt or HDMI?
Well, it's mini HDMI out, and it goes to a lot of people get the Elgato Cam Link.
Yeah.
This is kind of like an off-brand Cam Link. It's just, I couldn't even tell you who makes it, but it works.
HDMI interfaces are pretty standard. So like if you have a USB 3 HDMI in, it can take 1080p or 4K. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah. And it's just coming in over USB.
Yeah. I have an even cheaper one that is 1080. It's 1080p 30 hertz motion JPEG, but yeah. But like so that is the kind of camera you would want to color correct. But it's like so many online vloggers have such high production value. It just kind of ruins it for everyone else. But it's like there's nothing wrong with.
No, here's the thing. I say this to a lot of people. You don't go into podcasting expecting that you're going to be the next Joe Rogan or Howard Stern or, pick your podcast or broadcaster that makes a shit ton of money. You're not going to be those guys. So find a topic that you enjoy talking about. Find something that, you're not just making content trying to build an audience thinking that this is going to be your full-time job someday, because chances are it's not going to be that. So that's why I've been an Apple user since 87. I'll be 61 years old this year, and I just enjoy talking about that stuff. I like talking about tech. I like, geeking out, looking at your setup using Gen 2. And Jack. And I tried using Jack, couldn't do it. It just didn't work for me. So to see somebody actually have success with it, it's like, oh, cool. Let me see where that's going.
It's all frustration tolerance.
Yeah. How long can you do it before you want to throw your existing camera through your monitor, or pee on your computer, one of those two. So, we got some comments actually. This, thank you, number one, Adam, for coming on. I appreciate it. This wasn't really what I expected was going to happen tonight. I thought that there might be more people that would call in, but people didn't. But that's okay. So, David Ginsburg says, you do a podcast that you enjoy. I'm doing In Touch with iOS because I'm passionate about the topics in Apple, just like me. Exactly. He uses the iPhone XR as his webcam, and guy knows how great that looks using Camo, which is a fantastic application, by the way. You put it on your phone, you put it on your computer, and it's free to use, but you can get some more features if you pay. I think it's $40 a year, something like that. I'm
assuming you have a mount somewhere.
I actually have. Well, I have a second. I have another webcam, but I don't have it actually connected. This is the webcam that I used for years, and it's just a Logitech 930, and it's fine. It's careful, don't drop it and break your monitor. And there's nothing wrong with it. I enjoy using it, but I wanted something a little bit better, and $79 lifetime. David says for Camo. So I went ahead and started to do some research, and a lot of people really, really like Sony's A series cameras, and I think they're up to the 64 or 6500 right now. And this one was a couple years old, it's 5100, but it's a great camera, and there's a crap ton of lenses out there for it. So once I had the camera, then of course I had to go and spend more money and get a lens that had some of the features that I wanted. In this case, a higher aperture, and I'm pretty happy with the way this setup is that I'm about to tear down for a brand new desk. I don't know. Did I talk about that earlier?
I don't remember that, but I like my vintage Alpha, not mirrorless, not what do they call them? SLT. No, SLR. It's an old one. I still like it.
Single lens reflex.
Yep. But reflex because there's an actual reflection.
Right.
And it has a mirror. It clicks. You can feel the whole thing clunk. Take a picture? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It would make sense. You would need a tripod or a mount on the monitor or something for an iPhone. But it has an HDMI out, but it was before people really used their video DSLRs for live streaming.
Right.
This is from 2011, before that was even a thing. So when I connect the mini HDMI out from that, it has the whole overlay on the screen, and it does not show it at native resolution. It shows at the resolution of the on-screen display. So is it showing all that stuff? All this, because
or does it like push that off to the side when you're
it shows
actually
the menu. Like if you have nothing up, it'll show all the controls that are normally on there, but you'll see the video through it. And then if you pull the menu up, it'll show the menu. It's exactly it's just a mirror of what's on the camera's LCD, which is annoying. I'm like, Sony could have designed that firmware better, but they're not going back because
it's a 10-year-old camera. So how much are they going to invest in resources?
Exactly. But it's still useful as a camera, at least.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
My first SLR, I had a oh my god, way back in the day. I had a Pentax K1000, which was like a manual everything. And at the time, I was going on a lot of trips overseas, and I actually went on safari in Kenya, and so many shots were lost because of, oh, that's really cool. And I bring up the camera and say, okay, set the focus, set the aperture, set this, and by the time I got everything set up, it was like the animal was like, I waited and, I had to leave. So then they would wander off and the shot would be gone.
At least mine has phase contrast focusing.
Well, the first one I got that was autofocus was a Canon. Oh God, Rebel. It was a Canon. It was like an early Canon Rebel, and you could set it for auto everything. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go on safari again to get to try to retake some of those shots. But going forward, that was a great camera. And this is actually this Sony is like really the first, I guess, not really professional, but better than just a point and shoot that I've had in probably 20 years. I think the generic
term is system camera.
Yeah. But I like it, and I like the setup, and everything's going to change because probably starting tomorrow and Friday and definitely Saturday, I'm ripping everything apart and getting rid of the L from the desk that I have here. Setting up the desk that I'm in right now is going to go up against a wall, and then I start putting together the new desk that's currently in boxes in the other room, bring that over here, and then somehow try to get everything hooked up and working again. So I was actually not sure if I was going to do anything tonight, but I did want to try this with, trying to bring people in, and I think it'll work. What I would really prefer to do, and I don't think it'll ever happen because there's no easy or cheap way to do it, is to just have like a call-in number that has multiple lines on it. So you just have to show up, one number for people to call and then take calls that way. But I don't think that's going to happen. There are ways to do it, but it involves a lot more money than what I'm willing to budget for something like that. Anyway, I think we've been on. Can you believe it? We've been on for like an hour.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks to everyone who has jumped in and joined us tonight on the Uber Geeky Gen 2 / Mac to the Future / Ardor Hindenburg Jack Loopback show. Adam, thanks so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And we are going to go. So let me switch back over to Bran, and I'm going to hit the ending, and then we're just going to leave. I'm not going to bother with all the contact stuff because you guys have heard me say it 1,000 times before. So we'll see you all hopefully next week with the new setup. Bye, everybody.